Run now. I was awakened by my husband's shout. Groggily rising from bed, I hurriedly looked around, wondering if there was a fire, but everything was quiet. What's going on? Turning around, I saw that my husband, who had shouted, was still in a dream. Could it be sleep talking? My husband, Mike, often talks in his sleep, and this wasn't the first time I'd been woken up by that. But I'd never heard him say something like this before, and I couldn't help but chuckle. What's there to run from? Then, as if responding to my words, my husband said something startling, making me tremble. This can't be happening. And so, I decided to divorce my husband of 40 years. My name is Linda, and I'm 63 years old. Mike and I have a son, who got married and left home 5 years ago. After successfully raising our child, I thought we had managed our marriage fairly well despite its ups and downs. Mike is set to retire on his birthday next month. Back in our 50s, he used to laugh and say things like, "After I retire, let's head to the deep countryside and maybe take up farming or indulge in skiing all winter long. Or, doing a complete tour of the US in an RV sounds great." But as retirement approached, those conversations just faded away. I wasn't seriously considering a skiing spree at our age, but I hoped we could travel together while we still had our health. So, to celebrate my husband's retirement, I was looking online for a stay at a luxury hotel that we wouldn't normally consider. But then, run now. His sleep talk and the shocking words he uttered in response to me were unbelievable. Laura, my wife, found out about the affair. It'll be bad if she comes. My husband, deep in sleep, clutched the blanket, moaning and moving his head. Laura? Hearing that name made me shake with anger. If this continues, our plan will be ruined. His sleep talking continued. So? I'll be the one to truly ruin your plans. I thought we were about to start a peaceful new chapter after 40 years together, but this event steered us towards an unexpected divorce. The next morning, as usual, my husband woke up and ate the breakfast I had prepared as if nothing had happened. Your sleep talking was worse than usual last night. Really? Maybe I'm just stressed with all the handovers and stuff at work. You need to take care of your health to finish work properly, don't you? Yeah. He seemed to have no recollection of the previous night. Deliberately, I spoke more kindly than usual and unusually saw him off to work at the front door. It's rare for you to see me off. Well, retirement is just around the corner, so why not once in a while? Okay, I'll be going now. I'll be late because of overtime work, but I'll be home by the last train. Then you won't need dinner, right? No. My husband closed the door with a bang. After locking the door from the inside, I waited a moment until I could no longer hear his footsteps fading away. Overtime, huh? I wonder if that's really true. Time to hurry up and find out. I began searching our house to gather evidence of his infidelity. Going through each pocket of his suits in the closet, I found a crumpled piece of paper. There it is. Just as I suspected. It was unmistakably a suspicious motel receipt. He must have paid in cash to avoid leaving a digital trail, but keeping the receipt defeats the purpose. I found several more receipts, the most recent dated just 2 days ago. He said he was working late the day before yesterday, and he came home in the early hours. Despite preparing myself for the possibility of his infidelity after hearing his sleep talking, the emergence of concrete evidence shook me. And I found myself in tears before I knew it. Why, though? You said it was over. I believed that. The truth is, my husband had an affair once before, 10 years ago. I'm sorry. It was just a moment of folly. Linda, we will never meet again, please forgive us. When their affair came to light, they both apologized like that. His affair partner, Laura, was more than a decade younger than him and a subordinate at his work. Apparently, he began consoling Laura over her struggles as a divorced single mother, and one thing led to another. It was discovered when my sister happened to see them arm in arm, disappearing into a motel district. Soon after, I heard that Laura had quit her job and moved back to her hometown, and I believed their relationship had ended. Of course, there was a rut in the back of my mind. But at the time, our son was a senior in college, busy with job hunting. I was worried that our divorce would impact him, so I endured. I reassured myself, believing that after all this time together, he wouldn't seriously leave me, and we could start over. So you've been deceiving me for 10 years? My hands, clutching the motel receipts, were shaking. I will never forgive this. A simple divorce won't be the end of it. Just you wait. Continuing my search through bags and drawers, I found brochures of motels I'd never visited and aquarium tickets. But these weren't concrete proof that Laura was involved. Ah, that's right. I pulled out a laptop that had been stowed away in the closet. My husband bought it a few years ago intending to start a side job. But soon it was used only for gaming, and then not at all once he realized he could do that on his phone. I occasionally used it myself, so I knew the password. As expected, the laptop booted up easily, and I opened my husband's emails. He used a webmail service accessible from both his phone and laptop, so I could see his exchanges even though he no longer used the computer. I'll divorce my wife after retirement, and then we can live together. To my astonishment, one of the opened emails contained exactly those words. I've told my wife that my salary got less due to the recession, and she completely believes it. Let's save money to buy a condo for us. My husband works for a major corporation, and a few years ago, he happily mentioned, "It looks like I'll be getting better salary during 5 years till retirement." I recalled how he suddenly started saying something different recently. The company's performance has worsened, so it seems like my salary will be getting less. How much do you think you'll get? Maybe around $2,000 a month at best. I couldn't say anything more to him at the time, seeing how dejected he was, not to mention it wasn't his fault the company was underperforming. We had some savings, I thought we might manage. Since then, I'd been crunching numbers on the household budget every day. I had envisioned a retirement filled with occasional movies, dining out, and a few trips each year. We would have to cut back significantly. But it seemed doable. I might need to increase my part-time hours. It's unfortunate. But he will have to find some part-time work after retirement while he's still able-bodied. What was all the time I spent agonizing over this for? Does your wife really not notice anything about us? She's oblivious. Even if she finds out, she forgives me as long as I apologize. It was the same 10 years ago. She believes we completely broke it off back then, so it's fine. The emails were filled with mocking words about me. I've given her $2,000 in salary every month, but actually, I've got $4,000 every month. So, just save the remaining $2,000 every month. $2,000 every month should be more than enough for her. I'll tell her the divorce on my retirement day. Then, we can start our new life in the condo we bought yesterday. Seeing the heart symbols in the emails of my soon-to-be 65-year-old husband made me feel nauseous. A condo bought yesterday? When I checked my husband's bank account online, I saw a transfer of $50,000 to a real estate agent on the date mentioned in the email, leaving almost nothing in the account. So, their love nest is already set up? Disgusting. My anger gradually turned into emptiness, and I became more clear-headed. I'll grant them their wish for a divorce, and I'll do it in a way that's as advantageous to me as possible. I continued searching online for information about divorce. That reminds me, there it is. I turned my closet inside out and found a diary I had written 10 years ago. Flipping through the pages, I found a piece of paper I had tucked into the date the affair was discovered. Just as I thought. Smirking at the content, I immediately called a law firm I had found online. I was determined to sort everything out without my husband noticing before his birthday, which was also his retirement day. A few days later, my husband came home unusually early and looked around the room. Things seem to have decreased a lot recently. I threw away a lot of unnecessary stuff. You know, it's the trend these days. I had already decided on a place to move after the divorce and was slowly moving my things there. Worried that he might have noticed, I realized he no longer seemed interested in me or what I was doing. Hey, my mom wants to rebuild her house. So, I decided we should use our savings to help her out. What? Of course, I've already given all my savings to her. It's not enough, so we have no choice. But what about our future? You're working part-time, so it's fine. But that will almost deplete our savings. Don't worry. I will also work part-time after retirement. He was probably trying to reduce our joint assets to minimize the amount he'd have to give me. I never imagined he'd resort to such underhanded tactics. That's a shame. I was planning a luxurious hotel trip to celebrate your retirement, just the two of us. Huh? Forget about that. Why? Ah, no, it's pointless to go on a trip with you now. I didn't miss the brief look of annoyance on his face. Of course. He wouldn't plan a trip with someone he's planning to divorce on his retirement day. I had thought about an all-around America trip or skiing, just the two of us after retirement. You used to talk about it, remember? Saying this brightly on purpose made him even more irritable. We can't afford luxuries on a trip while making my mom and others hold back. I didn't say that. I was just hoping we could spend a relaxed and friendly time together after retirement. Mike sat silently, his face sour as if he had bitten into a bitter bug. Up until recently, I truly believed that. But you know what? I've lost the desire to go with you as well. Tough luck. In my heart, I lashed out with all the bitterness I could muster. And then, on his retirement day, I spread a feast across the table and popped a cracker as soon as Mike entered the room. Despite my beaming smile and warm welcome, his face remained cold and expressionless. Congratulations on your retirement. Let's get a divorce. What? You must be joking. Having rehearsed this moment countless times in my mind, I dramatized my shock like an actress, bursting into tears. I'm sorry. I'll give you half of our savings as a settlement. That's all we have in terms of shared assets. No. I won't agree to a divorce. I'm sorry. After saying just that, Mike left the house. All that was left was a feast that I prepared. Well then, on to the next plan. I celebrated alone with a feast. The next day, I found myself in front of the luxury condo Mike had purchased, accompanied by a woman. When I pressed the apartment number at the entrance, a woman's voice responded. You must be Laura, I'm Mike's wife. Ah. The voice sounded as if it came out of nowhere, and I almost laughed, restraining myself with effort. He's there too, isn't he? Can you let us in? No. Go away. You don't have the right to refuse us. What do you mean? Who do you think this woman with me is? She's my lawyer, Miranda. What? Do you want to talk now, or would you prefer going to court? Mike appeared on the monitor, talking with Laura. Let us in quickly. Or would you rather continue this discussion in the entrance, where all your neighbors could know about your misdeeds? Fine, come in. This is how Miranda and I stormed into the love nest of foolish Mike and his mistress. Once inside, Mike bombarded me with questions like, how did you find out, and how did you know about this place? I ignored them all. Miranda then laid out the divorce settlement in front of them. Asset division $200,000. What is this? Both Mike and Laura were left gaping at the document. There's no way we have that much money. Why not? The monthly salary you hid from me for 3 years is $72,000 in total. $80,000 went to your mother. And $50,000 for the down payment on this condo. That adds up to about $200,000. Pay up. But I didn't hide any salary. Too bad for you. It seems you were trying to deceive me. Miranda has already contacted your company to verify the details. All of this is considered marital assets. Miranda nodded in agreement beside me. Laura, you could pay me on behalf of him. I don't have that kind of money. We don't afford such a huge amount of money. Please forgive us. Suddenly, Mike apologized, and right beside him, Laura was also apologizing. So you thought I'd easily forgive you if you apologized, remember? Don't underestimate me. What do you think supporting you for 40 years up until your retirement meant? The two of them timidly looked up, taken aback by my outburst. So, what will it be? Accepting the divorce settlement here and now, or facing a hopeless court battle? Choose whichever you prefer. Court would take too much time and money, but this settlement is outrageous. That's absurd. Oh, did you forget? I pulled a piece of paper from my bag. Pledge, we will never meet again in the future. Should we break this promise, we will accept any request made. It was the same piece of paper I had found in my diary from 10 years ago. During the first affair scandal, I impulsively made it and had both of them sign it. It says right here you'd do anything. This is invalid now. That's right. Then, let's go to court. That's right, you haven't received your salary for the last month yet, have you? If we're going to court, I'll make sure to inform your company so they don't let you misuse the funds. After a moment of silence, Mike looked up and muttered, "All right. Good. Then sign here. But paying $200,000 is outrageous. Even I know that much. $5,000 a year for 40 years of support. Do you really think that's too much?" I didn't want to quantify our 40 years of marriage in terms of money. But I figured he wouldn't understand without me putting it that way. Truth be told, even Miranda thought the amount was too high, but during the drafting stage, she told me I could ask for whatever I wanted. So I insisted. "Can't you make it a more manageable amount? I have my future to think about, and there's the mortgage for this condo." "Then sell the condo." "Of course, you'll probably sell it at a loss. That's what I'm saying. So, understand my position. Don't start playing the sympathy card now. All I understand is that you two will have a miserably tight budget from now on." After stating my piece, I left the rest to Miranda and exited. In the end, I got $100,000 for the shared assets. Still, unable to afford the mortgage, they were forced to put the condo on the market, only to find it wouldn't sell for the desired amount, leading to substantial debt. Reluctantly, my ex-husband started doing day labor, and Laura began working in a bar at night, constantly fighting over their financial woes. I never thought I'd be living alone at this age, but I've found the freedom to use my time as I please quite enjoyable. Lately, I've become fond of traveling alone, and I'm currently planning a trip abroad. I'm looking forward to enjoying the rest of my life.